Hey everyone, welcome back. On behalf of Forge College, I am super excited to kick off this explainer on the anatomy of smart wallets. If you joined us for our previous lesson, Overview and Next Steps, you know we're busy unpacking the layered world of Web3. Today, we're taking things up a notch by breaking down exactly how these incredible tools are built. So grab your hard hats.
Let me ask you something. What actually happens when you hit send? I mean, from your perspective, it kind of feels like magic, right? Just a quick tap on your screen and boom, assets move across the globe. But under the hood, smart wallets are highly complex machines. To really master them, we need to build a bridge between the abstract theory and the concrete system design. We need to look at the anatomy.
Okay, let's dive into this engineering index. We are going to map out the blueprint, meet the core components, explore the 3 wallet tiers, look at a really handy courier analogy, trace the actual workflow, and finally, weigh some key trade-offs.
All right, part 1, the Smart Wallet Blueprint. We're moving past just the high-level features here and mapping the actual component-level anatomy. See, we demand a lot from smart wallets. We want session keys for temporary delegation. We want bundled gas abstractions so you aren't constantly stumbling over native network fees. And we absolutely need built-in programmable recovery policies. Because we demand all these convenient features, the smart wallet is forced to own much more persistent state than a simple transient account. It needs memory, it needs rules. Basically, it needs a really robust structure.
Moving right along to part 2, meet the core components.
Let's actually picture this like a busy office. Your client SDK, that's your eager front desk receptionist, always ready to capture your intent and get things organized. The signer is the person tightly clutching the private keys. Then you've got the state store, which is basically your filing cabinet for nonces and memories. The constructor is this brilliant translator, turning your human intent into a serialized transaction. The relayer, that's the mailroom, bundling the whole shebang up for transport. And the on-chain contract, well, that's the unyielding security guard who loves paperwork and absolutely will not let anything happen unless every policy is followed to the letter.
Section 3, the 3 wallet tiers.
So the crucial point is that to avoid getting totally lost in the technical jargon, we need a simple mental model. We can break this entire distributed system down into 3 distinct tiers. First up, the presentation tier. That's your client interface, an SDK handling user intent. Then the coordination tier, which is the constructor, state store, and signer working together to prep and authorize policies. And lastly, the execution tier, the on-chain contract and ledger, which steps in at the very end to enforce those immutable consequences.
Part 4, the secure courier analogy.
Let's firmly anchor this 3-tier architecture in our minds with a real-world analogy. Imagine sending a highly secure package. The app, where you type in what you want, is the client SDK. The clerk, checking your ID and paperwork, that's the coordination tier. The courier actually driving the transport truck is the relayer, and the guard at the final destination is the on-chain execution. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference in stakes. If the clerk loses your paperwork, well, that's an off-chain problem. It's annoying, sure, but you can fix it locally. But the building entry logs kept by the guard, that represents the permanent, immutable on-chain record. No changing that.
Let's zoom in on that courier for just a second. The relayer, or bundler, is defined as an off-chain component that packages and forwards transactions to the ledger. It manages the mempool interactions and the promises to pay for gas. This is quite literally our transport guy. And honestly, just like waiting for a delivery truck to navigate traffic, this specific step is exactly where you, as a user, will usually experience any latency.
All right, Section 5, from intent to execution. Let's move to the dynamic workflow and see how this actually builds step by step. Step 1 is intent. The SDK validates your input. Step 2 is construct, where it encodes the calls and estimates gas. Step 3 is sign, verifying all those vital policies we talked about. Step 4 is relay, forwarding the payload to the network. And finally, Step 5 is execute, achieving on-chain finality. This is the chronological journey of exactly what happens the second you confidently hit send. Let's dig a bit deeper into Step 2, the transaction constructor. This is the piece that translates your human intent into a serialized transaction. It makes sure you have well-formed call data and accurate gas estimation. Behind the scenes, it's constantly consulting the state store for nonces and prepping auxiliary data like a promise to pay for the gas. Think of it as the ultimate diplomat, perfectly translating your human desires into rigid blockchain realities. But there is a catch here, and this brings us to the coordination checkpoint.
This coordination tier has a massive, ongoing job reconciling your fast, off-chain, optimistic user experience with the slow, immutable reality of the on-chain ledger. It has to continually pull for on-chain receipts and resolve any conflicts. Because if it doesn't do this properly, you might see it transaction as completed on your screen while it's actually still pending on-chain, and that leads to some very confusing double spend-like scenarios.
Which leads us to our final section, Part 6, Key Tradeoffs. As an architect, building these things, you are constantly doing this balancing act between security, latency, and ergonomics. For example, if you move nonces off-chain, you get incredible synchronous speed, way better latency, but you risk state desynchronization. On the flip side, if you put all your policies strictly on-chain, you get absolute unyielding security. But man, that's going to cost you way more gas and potentially complicate recoverability for the user. It is a constant push and pull.
So, this brings us to a golden rule you should basically live by. Design reconciliation and checkpoint rules in the coordination tier so optimistic UX and immutable ledger state stay consistent. Keep that in mind. Summarizing this core principle is absolutely crucial, because wrapping your head around this foundation perfectly prepares you for our next module, which is going to dive deep into blockchain interactions.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Where will you accept latency to get stronger guarantees in your own smart wallet design? It's a real engineering choice you will inevitably have to make as you build in this space. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. On behalf of Forge College, I highly encourage you to head over to forge.college to learn more about this and a bunch of other really fascinating Web3 topics. Until next time, keep exploring and keep building.